хорош. Работай дальше. Дальше работай. Сдаешься, блядь? Что, блядь? Стволы нахуй, блядь!
Иди, стой, вот сюда, руки поднимай.
Руки.
Заходи.
Это кто?
Сюда.
Да, если сказал, что...
Так,
Ложись!
там, второй.
Все.
Руки за спину.
Второй будет оставаться?
Этот, я выходил в инфоту, я не знаю.
Крикни ему. Второй.
Крикни.
Честно, давай. Сколько вас? Без пизды. Нас было четверо, так? Так. Начало стрельба, у нас в комнате было двое, чтобы не спали. Как двое делать, я не знаю. Он делал остался в комнате, но их я не знаю.
Граната?
Граната, да.
Жека, давай, смысл держаться. Жека, ну смысл держаться. Жека, нема смысла держаться, ну що ми, блядь? У нас уже нема нікого, я здався.
Russian Special Forces Grachi stormed Ukrainian stronghold in fierce close combat operation. In a dramatic operation on the front lines, elite Russian Special Forces from the Grachi Reconnaissance Detachment carried out a daring raid against a fortified Ukrainian position. The mission began with intelligence reports suggesting that a house in the area was being used as a hideout by Ukrainian troops. Acting on the information, the Russian troops entered the building and conducted a meticulous sweep, moving from room to room in search of enemy forces. As they advanced through the structure, intense close-quarters combat erupted when Ukrainian troops attempted to resist the sweep. Despite the fierce resistance, Russian soldiers maintained control of the situation. One Ukrainian soldier was captured during the clash, while another detonated an explosive, taking his own life. The confrontation underscored the brutal and unpredictable nature of urban warfare. In the end, the Russian Grachi unit successfully neutralized the Ukrainian presence and captured the military stronghold. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. In Belgorod direction, the Sever group of forces have engaged manpower and hardware of 4 mechanized brigades, a coastal defense brigade, an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade close to Miropolskoy, Malaya Rybitsa, Petrushevka, Krasnopoli, and Yamnoy, Sumy region. The AFU losses amounted to up to 90 troops, 3 armored fighting vehicles, 4 motor vehicles, and 4 field artillery guns. 2 ammunition depots and 1 material depot were eliminated. Units of the Zapad group of forces took more advantageous lines and positions. Russian units engaged 3 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade of the AFU, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade close to Kamenka, Doroshavka, Redkovka, Moskovka, Podoli, Senkovo, Bogoslavka, Novy Krudliakovka, Kharkov region, Karpovka, Rykadub, Kirovsk, and Yampol, Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 250 troops, a UK-made Snatch armored fighting vehicle, 4 motor vehicles, 5 NATO-made field artillery guns including 2 Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery system, a UK-made 155mm Braveheart self-propelled artillery system, and a US-made 155mm M198 howitzer. 4 electronic warfare stations and 3 ammunition depots were eliminated. The Yud group of forces units improved the tactical situation. The Russian armed forces inflicted fire damage on manpower and hardware of 3 mechanized brigades, a mountain assault brigade of the AFU, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade close to Seversk, Minkovka, Markovo, Chasov Yar, Kurdiamovka, Ivampoli, Yablanovka, Tarasovka, Ulyanovka, and Valentinovka, Donetsk People's Republic. The AFU losses amounted to more than 285 troops, a Swedish-made CV-90 infantry fighting vehicle, AM-113 armored personnel carrier, and a HMMWV armored vehicle made in the USA. 9 motor vehicles, 10 field artillery guns including 2 UK-made 155mm FH-70 howitzers and a US-made Paladin self-propelled artillery system as well as 5 ammunition depots, 2 material depots, and a fuel depot were eliminated. The center group of forces units took more advantageous lines and positions. Russian troops hit 2 mechanized brigades, an assault brigade, a Jaeger brigade, an unmanned aerial vehicles brigade, an assault regiment of the AFU, and a National Guard brigade near Lysovka, Zverivo, Kedlino, Udaknoy, Preobrazhenka, Bogdanovka, and Alexievka, Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 335 troops, 4 armored fighting vehicles including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier and 2 U.S.-made HMMWV armored vehicles, 2 pickup trucks, and 7 field artillery guns including a U.S.-made 155mm Paladin and a Polish-made 155mm Krab self-propelled artillery systems. Units of the Vostok group of forces continued advancing into the depth of enemy defense. Russian forces damaged manpower and hardware of a mechanized brigade, an airmobile brigade, an air assault brigade, and a territorial defense brigade near Bogodar, Otradnoy, Berlitskoy, and Shevchenko, Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy's losses amounted to up to 155 troops, 2 armored vehicles, a pickup truck, and 2 field artillery guns including a U.S.-made 155mm Paladin self-propelled artillery system. The Dnieper group of forces units improved the tactical situation. Russian formations engaged a mechanized brigade, a mountain assault brigade, 2 coastal defense brigades of the armed forces of Ukraine, and 2 territorial defense brigades near Novodanilovka, Stepnogorsk, Zaporizhzhia region, Tokarevka, Satovoy, Antonovka, and Dniprovskoy, Kherson region. Up to 100 troops, 9 motor vehicles, 3 artillery guns, 2 electronic warfare stations, a U.S.-made and /TPQ-50 counterfire radar, and 3 ammunition depots were neutralized. Operational tactical aviation attacked unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian groups of forces have engaged the infrastructure of a military airfield, assembly facilities for MLRS and strike drones, a drone training center as well as temporary deployment areas of the Ukrainian armed formations in 144 areas. Russian air defense means have shot down 4 U.S.-made JDAM-guided aerial bombs and 5 MRs MLRS projectiles during the day as well as 304 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy lost 661 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 51,866 unmanned aerial vehicles, 601 anti-aircraft missile systems, 22,846 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,536 MLRS combat vehicles, 23,667 field artillery guns and mortars, 34,127 units of support military vehicles.
Ты благоразумный парень. Если бы ты меня прибаранил, мы бы все... Вот это пропаганда. Молодцы, молодцы. Фляга! Амура, бери бегом сюда!